about to listen to contains at least one of the following: strong language, disturbing topics, abusive opinions, generally things that aren't appropriate for little kids or overly sensitive people. So, if any of that stuff's going to get your nose out of joint, this is your chance to turn it off.
Feelings don't matter, so brace yourself tight. He'll lay it down heavy, he'll light up the night. No sugar-coated tales, just cold hard facts. In the realm of opinions, there's no turning back. Listen closer, just walk away. But Aaron had to say it, come what may. Here comes Aaron with the truth untold. No holding back, watch the truth unfold. On the podcast, airways feel the righteous sting. You either take it in or let the silence ring.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of I Had to Say It. So we're going to start as we do by saying to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz, McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys from the Little Report, to Billy G, to Walt from the B-Rob Podcast, to Kate, to the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fonts of the World of Blaze Podcast, to Josh from New Hampshire, to Bill from Clock'em Craft Coffee, and to our newest subscriber, Lisa. Thank you guys for the continued support. It means the world to me, really does. Anybody that follows me on any of the socials probably saw, or maybe you didn't, that I put out a comment saying that there might not be a show tonight, and there damn near wasn't. We've got some personal family stuff going on that, unfortunately, it's been a bitch and a half of a day. It's been a case of a lot of things went wrong that just compounded and made today into a pisser, and then we had a family, literally a family emergency thing come up. I'm not going to go into specifics. It's not my place to talk about it, but if you're the praying type or the good vibes or thoughts or whatever, without going into specifics, family could use a little of that at the moment. So, not to be all Debbie Downer or anything, it's just kind of wanted to clarify why I am probably a little disheveled, a little ragged. Honestly, I'm spent. Today has been just one thing going sideways after another. It's been emotionally, physically, mentally draining. I don't have a lot of gas in the tank. So this is probably going to be a pretty short little blurb. But there are a couple thoughts I did want to get off my chest. So we're going to do that. One of the first things I want to do before I get too far into this and I forget to say something about it is I did want to say over the weekend, Sean and I, my wife and I went on the Gray's Taproom podcast to sit down and shoot the bull with Mike and Tabby. They're good friends of ours that we're always glad to talk to them. It's always a fun time when we get together. It was, we just sat around and caught up and cracked some jokes and swapped some stories and had a good laugh, and it was a lot of fun. So you should go check that out. It was a good time. And that's really all the housekeeping I have. I do owe you guys an apology because last week I misspoke and said that this past Sunday I would be appearing on the Weathered Report, and that will actually be this coming Sunday, the 15th. Aaron had a brain fart senior moment kind of thing and said things wrong. So that will actually be coming up this weekend. Go find the Weathered Report on all your assorted platforms, Rumble, YouTube, etc., etc. Go there, do the things, follow the show, watch it. It'll be a good time. Again, we're going to talk about this little side hustle thing I'm working on, and I don't know, we'll see where else the conversation goes. I always have a good time when I talk to Ken and Bruce, and they've been very supportive of everything I've been doing for the last couple of years, and it's going to be a good time. You guys should definitely go check it out. 7 p.m. Pacific, so 8 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. East Coast, this Sunday the 15th. Check it out. It'll be a good time. Yeah, so definitely go do that. Don't miss out. It's going to be a good show. Ken and Bruce, good dudes to talk to. It's going to be a hoot and a holler, I'm sure. And hopefully we'll even stay on task. I'm sure Bruce will do his best to wrangle me and Ken, because I don't know if y'all have noticed, but Ken and I are both very verbose fellas. We're chatty, we're talkers. So we'll see what Bruce can do to try and keep the two of us on task. It'll be an impressive feature for him. It'll be streaming on Rumble, YouTube, and X. So yeah, do the things, go there, watch the show, subscribe, talk shit in the chat, whatever you want to do. It'll be a good time, I promise. This is arduous. This is tedious. I almost didn't do the show, but I felt like I should. So I am. After, with a lot of things that have been going on this weekend, and I wound up generally, outside of talking a lot of smack on X to political figures, I try to restrict my ire strictly to public figures because, I don't see the benefit in berating average citizens. I don't see the point or what is going to be accomplished by ragging on a bunch of mouth-breathing idiots just because I think they're stupid. I will attack their gods. I will target their totems. I will fucking talk shit to all the fucking people who willingly walked into that position, because there's nobody that's out there postulating about how they think the world's fucked and how it's somehow people like me's fault. That's not doing that voluntarily. So if you open yourself up to the attack, that's upon you at that point. But as a general rule, when it comes to average people, when it comes to like this instance I'm thinking of in particular that got me going down this path of thought was like local groups on Facebook, the talk of the town type pages and shit like that. And the local ones here for my area have really just turned into just utter garbage. I joined most of them because it was a way to talk about like yard sales or to look for local businesses or to try and support local fundraising and shit like that. And recently, last 8 weeks at least, I don't go on Facebook very much, so it could have been going on longer. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but it's really just devolved into just fucking name calling and retarded shit. And it's always being done under the like anonymous tags. It's never somebody using their real name to put their whole chest behind the bullshit they're saying. And a lot of it from both sides is easily disprovable nonsense. A lot of it is fucking character attacks based upon who you voted for, which is just fucking infuriating to me. I mean, yeah, I talk a lot of shit about people that tend to have certain political leanings, but the thing is, I don't base my shit talking upon those political leanings. I base my shit talking upon the stupidity that comes out of their mouths or out of their fingers on their fucking keyboards, and based on the stupidity of their actions. And the problem is, as of late, it's been predominantly aimed one fucking direction because that side just seems to be getting way and more outlandish with their fucking self-serving bullshit. And I have a problem with that. Now, on the other hand, I'm just as quick to call out horrible fucking people on the other side. I am truly nonpartisan. I hate all of them. I think it's stupid. I think it's weak-minded. I think this tribalistic bullshit is going to be the downfall of our fucking society, and I think it's being done deliberately. I think that there was a time when we used to be able to have disagreements and not have it turn into, you don't agree with me on this, so therefore I have to hate you and I want to see bad things happen to you. And part of that stems from having an entire generation of people that never actually learned how to be developmentally adults. They are fucking weak-minded children that just got fucking old. They use these fucking retarded tactics, and in large part, it's us older motherfuckers' faults because a lot of us didn't beat our kids when they needed to be beaten. And I don't mean necessarily physically assaulting, but I mean discipline. There was no fucking, nothing to force these kids into reality. So now we have late 20s, early 30s motherfuckers that are out here that have all the character development of a fucking middle schooler, and it shows in every single way they interact with society and the world at large. They think that their emotions are the most important thing on the planet. They use childish, juvenile, emotional blackmail tactics to try and get their way and to try and somehow validate themselves when they can't actually do it with facts or legitimate discourse. It's, well, no, that hurt my feelings and you're a terrible person for it and I hope you feel bad. Well, motherfucker, here's the newsflash. I don't. I didn't feel bad when the fucking religious right was telling me I was going to hell because I don't have a problem with, homosexuality or, any of that other stuff that they all thought, well, you're going to hell. And like when the Westboro Baptist Church assholes were boycotting and picketing outside of soldiers' funerals with signs that said, God hates the fags. You know what? That's not that's horseshit, and they're horrible fucking people. And I have no problem calling them out and telling them they're horrible people to their fucking faces because they're intolerant, hateful pieces of shit. And on the off chance that they might be right about what God hates, I really wouldn't want to be in heaven anyway if that's the fucking case, because I don't believe that any higher power could actually be such a petty, judgmental fucking prick. I mean, that's just my stance. And I generally try not to get too religious on things, but that's the way I look at it. Every single fucking person out there that tries to wield their faith to justify being a shitty human being, if you're right, I'd rather go to hell. That's just the long and the short of it. Like I said, these are human frailties, and attributing them to a higher power to try and validate your fucking bullshit is weak. It's pathetic. And I hate people who do that shit. On the other side of that, I also hate people who think their feelings somehow trump reality. Their personal hurt, they think the world revolves around them, and they think that everything they think is important is fucking critical and essential and just and right, and everybody who doesn't agree with them is a poopy head, and hopefully it hurts them that they don't agree with me, and it hurts that they hurt my feelings, and they made me sad, so they're bad people, and I hope they remember that for the rest of their fucking lives. The sheer narcissism behind that mentality makes me physically fucking furious. Like, I literally want to hurt someone when they start behaving like that. I don't do it because I'm a civilized adult, but there's a little voice in the back of my head that says, just slap this fucking clown. Again, I don't do it. I'm a grown-up. I'm a big boy. I wear my big boy pants. I keep my emotions in check the majority of the time because emotional decisions are generally bad ones, which is something a lot of people don't fucking realize because they let their hearts and their feelings make their fucking plays, and then they wonder why their lives are fucking empty and meaningless and vapid because your emotions are fucking stupid, Sparky. That's why. And, it's not necessarily, but like I said, I see it from both sides. I see the name calling, the back and forth, the stupid shit from both groups. And a lot of it's been tying into the stuff that's happened in the last week with, the Epstein files being released and being redacted to high hell and being, nobody's been cuffed. Nobody's been perp walked. A lot of allegations are coming out. A lot of people are throwing shit around. Every leftist asshole out there is way too happy. Oh, well, Trump's name was mentioned in the Epstein files 3,800 times. Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, he was in there thousands of times. You know what, though? None of those references were positive. And I don't worship at the altar of Orange Jesus. Everybody knows that. I'm going to actually say something really critical about him very shortly. But at the end of the day, again, you need to have your emotions. I'm not saying don't have emotions. I'm not saying don't have feelings because that makes you just as bad as the people that let their emotions rule them and control their fucking lives. But you need to keep that shit in check. You need to be able to think critically when the time comes. Understand emotional reactions. Yes, by all means, have your emotions. Let things get to you. Let things show. I've been accused. I was literally this over the weekend accused of being heartless and emotionless and lacking empathy. And it's a case of I'm not heartless and I'm not emotionless and I don't lack empathy. What I am is someone who is still a realist, still looks at things based in facts and reality, and I don't let my emotions override my common fucking sense. I don't let my empathy allow me to do detriment to myself in the name of making sure someone else is thriving or succeeding or getting what they need from life. My first and foremost concern is taking care of myself and my family, and then I will worry about other people's feelings, well-beings, and emotions. So it's not that I don't have any empathy, it's I don't let it rule me because that is fucking dumb. And that's the end of it. So the Epstein files come out. Every leftist retard in this fucking group is, oh, Trump's a pedophile. You guys support a pedophile. Your favorite politicians are pedophiles, which that's another thing. I don't understand the mentality of these motherfuckers. Like, well, what would you do if your favorite politician was in the fucking files? I don't have a favorite politician. They're not fucking Pokemon. They're public servants. You're not supposed to have a favorite one. You're supposed to have your representatives from your district that align with your politics. That's as far as it goes. They're not cult of personality. They're not supposed to be people you want to hang out with. They're not supposed to be people you want to party with. they're supposed to be public servants. Now, we've strayed so fucking far from that where it's, it's an unrealistic expectation to have where everybody's, well, who's your favorite politician? I don't have a favorite politician. I have politicians that annoy me less than the other ones. I like Thomas Massey. I like Tim Burchett. I like some things about Mike Lee. I like Rand Paul. I like Ron Paul better than I like Rand. Rand kind of irritates me a little bit. Ron was the original. I liked Ron Paul. None of them were my favorites unless you're talking in the ones I hold in less contempt than the rest. Like Thomas Massey, I actually respect him because he said he's going to go in and force the fucking DOJ to let him look at the unredacted files, and he said if they don't start releasing information, he's going to start releasing information. I don't know how well that's going to play out. I'm at the point where I've gotten very skeptical of anything ever coming from this shit. So it's been very well proven that there are definitely a two-tier justice system in this world, and anybody who tells you differently is trying to sell you something that probably doesn't fucking work. But it would be great if you went in there and started just dropping truth bombs. Okay, here's the name that was redacted from this page. Here's the name that was redacted from that page. But, it's kind of a moot point because we're still at the point where it's like the Clintons just blew off the congressional summons, which, all the Democrats were having a shit fit and threw Steve Bannon in prison for ignoring a congressional summons. But they're not doing it. They actively voted to block the same shit from happening to Bill and Hill. So, fuck you guys and your partisan bullshit. You're fucking hypocrites, every last one of you. And meanwhile, and again, this is I keep coming back to these Facebook groups because I'm tired and I can't think well, and that's what's at the forefront of my fucking mind. So you got on the one side, you got everybody calling anybody that doesn't agree with them Trumpers and maggots and heartless, soulless bastards because they want to see people deported. And then on the other side, you got people that are sitting there going, well, here's this, here's that. Your people are on the list too, and people will be saying things. They'll say something about Trump, and then if somebody goes back and says, yeah, well, Biden sniffed every little girl that got within 10 feet of him, and you got no fucking room to talk. And it's back and forth, and it's fucking pathetic. It's this tribalistic bullshit, like I said, that is utterly retarded, that people are showing this degree of loyalty to a fucking party that does not give a shit about them across the board. Nobody fucking cares about the average people who are out here fucking tearing each other down. People are destroying lifelong relationships over this fucking horse shit. It's being compounded by the fucking media because they're worthless fucking tools to keep everybody at each other's throats, so we can't notice the bigger than average fucking bullshit going on behind the scenes with the motherfuckers that are supposed to be serving us that are instead getting served by our fucking labor. It's fucking sickening. It's modern day slavery is really what it is. Because there is a class that benefits from our work, our labor, takes without returning, doesn't do the fucking prescribed jobs, and at the end of the day gets fat on the labor of the masses. And I hate to say things like that because it makes it sounds like it's drifting really close to the whole commie mentality, but I don't have that mentality because the commie mentality is everybody works and everybody gains. My theory is if you don't work, you don't get shit. I'm not, I am a pure capitalist at heart, and I believe we should all be able to keep the results of our labor. It's stolen from us to give to people who don't deserve it, who are unworthy, and who are unworthy stewards of our fucking labor and our money. Yeah, people say, oh, well, it's only money, but at the end of the day, you got to work to get that money, and you'll never get that fucking time back, so they are stealing your fucking life. And meanwhile, you got, your average half-dead, smooth-brained fucking retards over here nipping at each other over which team's fucking worst. Meanwhile, nobody's noticing the fucking lube running down the crack of their ass because we're all about to get fucked. It's just, left foot, right foot, the boots taste the same. You're fucking stupid if you think otherwise. And so many of these people are so weak-minded and so unwilling to self-actuate that they honestly believe the boot's okay as long as it's on their guy's foot, and it's fucking disgusting. They can't justify or validate their ideas on their own, so they say, well, if the government forces my beliefs onto everybody else, that'll vindicate me and somehow add worth or weight to my bullshit existence. And it just infuriates me to see this shit. It's so pathetic. It's so weak-minded that these people just jump into it with both legs, and people will fuck up lifelong relationships over dumb fucking shit. Oh, it's some personal attack because you said you don't like something that I do like. It's a personal fucking, you must hate me because you think that this is a good idea and I think it's a bad idea. So since we don't agree on that, you must hate me, and therefore I either need to correct you or completely cut you out of my fucking life. Forgetting everything that we've ever had in the past or any kind of history between each other. And like I said, I've spent way too much time on Facebook over the last couple of days because I see this shit happening in real time, and it's like in a couple instances, I did something that I don't normally do, and I got involved because people that I cared about were being attacked, and that pissed me the fuck off. So I will be me, and that's where the whole getting told I was heartless and had no empathy, and I was basically a bad human being for not sharing this fucking retard's point of view, because I came to the defense of somebody I care about because that individual was being a massive fucking cunt. And then said individual got all bent out of shape because he wasn't publicly defended by our mutual acquaintance when I called him a twat. I shit you not. That was the worst thing I said about this weak-spined beta cuck piece of shit before he just started basically berating my friend for not sharing his oh-so-enlightened view, because my friend said that they agreed that people needed to be fucking deported. And, you know, again, it's immediately you get people, oh my God, you can't deport people. That's wrong. And stolen land. And oh my God, this is bullshit. And it's like, well, first off, if you don't believe that we have any kind of right to defend our borders and everybody should just be, everyone in the world has a right to come to the United States and get handouts and fucking do what they want and import their third world shithole values and degrade this country instead of integrating into it and becoming part of the whole that made this country great in the first fucking place. If you come here and you don't want to assimilate, I don't want you here. That's the end of it. I don't want you to bring your shithole culture. I don't want you to carve out your own little niche. I want you to either come here and get on board with the fucking program or stay where the fuck you are. And if you're already here and you're trying to say, no, we're going to change America to suit my beliefs, fuck you. Go back where your beliefs came from because they're not wanted here. And, you know, a lot of people, oh, well, that's intolerant. That's bigoted. That's phobic. No, the fuck it's not. It's a perfectly reasonable expectation. Because if you move to a different country and you don't want to adapt that country's ways and beliefs, you're not migrating, you're invading. That's looking at traditional definitions. That's the case. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We need immigration reform. It needs to be where it's not a massive pain in the dick for people that want to come here and join our society to do it the right fucking way. That does not mean I believe there should be a blanket pardon to everybody that comes here illegally where, oh, well, they've been here and they're not doing anything too wrong. They've just been here in the country illegally for 10 fucking years but they've been here 10 years and they didn't break any laws. No, they've been breaking the law the entire 10 years they were here, and they should have self-deported when it was an option. So then they still have the option of coming back and doing it the right fucking way. But that's not even the case. The biggest problem I have with the people that are running their mouths and talking all this shit and hating anybody who says that we need to actually defend our nation's values and beliefs or we're not going to have a fucking nation left is the disingenuousness of the people who are out here just constantly trying to demonize things and make them worse than they are purely for the sake of divisiveness, purely because the actual facts don't back their story, so they want to make it fucking worse. The people that are out here screaming about, oh, well, ICE is out here, they're killing American citizens. They're killing people who were interfering with legal proceedings, obstructing justice, and literally in both cases, interfering with the arrest of people who raped children. You don't score a lot of fucking brownie points. You don't get to scream about the Epstein list and Trump's name showing up when you're defending actual fucking pedophiles who are under standing deportation orders for fucking kids. You're not the good guy. I'm sorry. Your empathy is fucking meaningless because it's very misplaced. Now, now speaking of fucking golden Jesus, I am gonna, the Cheeto dusted one did something over the weekend, and I don't think he is necessarily directly responsible for it, and that's fine. That's not necessarily saying I'm excusing it, but I have some issues with the matter. So there was a Trump truth post, whatever. I don't know what the fuck they call him on truth, but he posted something, and it was this long ass video about fraud and waste, basically. It was like a 10-minute video on a post. And then at the end of the video, it auto-scrolled to another post that was like some AI slop that was actually from like 2022. It's not even a new fucking thing. It's been floating around for a while. And it auto-scrolled, and it started out with like Trump is a lion, and then it scrolled over and it had basically every major mouthpiece of the Democratic Party that was relevant back in 2022 as some sort of fucking African jungle animal, some sort of savannah dwelling thing. It had Adam Schiff as a giraffe with his fucking pencil neck. It had J.B. Pritzker as a fucking elephant. It had God, who was it? It had Sawal as a fucking hyena or a jackal. It had Kamala as a fucking a meerkat. It had Joe Biden as a fucking the proboscis monkey, you know, the ones with the big fucking nose jamming a banana into his fucking face. And then there was the unfortunate timing of where they cut off the auto scroll, which is what everybody and their mothers got their fucking nose bent out of shape about right now, which was Obama and Michelle, Barry and Michelle, as like a gorilla and orangutan, maybe, or some sort of smaller ape. Now, is it in poor taste? Yes. Is it stupid? Yes. However, every fucking just, oh my God, low-hanging fruit, target-picking motherfucker. Oh my God, look at this is proof. He's racist. We've been calling him racist for the last 12 years, but he's fucking racist. There's the proof. He posted a picture of Obama, the Obamas as gorillas. Well, yeah, like I said, contextually it matters. It was a bad cutoff point on some AI slop fucking thing because he liked the Trump as a lion part. And honestly, at the end of the day, he probably approved the post without actually seeing the entirety of whatever came next. I really doubt he actually wrote it himself because it actually involved something more complicated than making a run-on sentence for fucking 4 paragraphs that was talking shit about stuff. That's realistically where I'm like, you know, when you see some unhinged 3 a.m. text coming out of that account, yeah, that's him on the shitter because he's got to pee 19 times a night because he's 80 fucking years old. When it involves something more complicated, like linking to social media, like other videos and things, I guarantee he's got a social media person handling that. I guarantee that kid probably got fucking canned over this shit. And more importantly, he acknowledged that it was in poor taste and took it down when it was brought to his attention. Now, some people may say that they don't necessarily believe that he didn't know that and he was doing it to be inflammatory and blah, blah, blah. And to the people who are getting all bent out of shape, oh, that racist motherfucker, he posted Gorilla Obama, and oh my God, that proves he's a racist. No, he didn't make the thing. He's just a fucking clueless old man. But beyond that, here's the part where I take umbrage with this shit. That he, you know, even if he was actually a racist, which I don't fucking believe, because up until he decided to run as a Republican, fucking the NAACP had honored him, fucking Jesse Jackson had marched with him, Al Sharpton had been friends with him, all the fucking Democrats in New York hung out with this guy. Literally up until he threw his hat in the ring for president, they loved him. You could do no wrong to him because he did plenty of things. He fucking funded scholarship funds at HBCUs. It's just, I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of the fucking guy, but I don't believe in pushing bullshit because you don't like somebody, when there are plenty of perfectly valid things to be fucking pissed off at them about. I don't want to sit here and go, oh, well, look, there's the proof. He's racist. You know how long and how loud you've been beating that fucking drum for nothing and nothing's ever come of it? You think this is going to be the fucking gotcha moment? No, you make yourself look like a jackass and more people stop taking you seriously. So God forbid you actually take up something that is a legitimate beef about him. Everybody's going to look at you and go, no, because this is the same fucking person that was beating this drum and beating that drum. It's the same reason I take issue with every fucking retard out there. And I'm including the motherfucker who's like, oh, you're a heartless and you have no empathy and actually did do the one thing that kind of pisses me off and called me MAGA, which I'm not. But it's the same motherfuckers who don't have the wherewithal and the self-awareness to realize you're doing all the shit you're accusing other people of, and you do it without the slightest hint of irony because you're too fucking unaware of your own fucking hypocrisy. It's infuriating. I can't stand this shit. It drives me nuts. There was a time, like I said, we could disagree and still be friends. We could get along. We could say, hey, you know what? That's your opinion and you're welcome to it. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's not talk about that anymore. And let's just talk about something where we can be friends. But through the media, through the fucking divisive shit being pushed by the politicians and every other motherfucker to keep us at each other's throats, because that's the fucking end game. As long as we're mad at each other over dumb shit, we can't be mad at them over the shit we should be legitimately pissed off about. Which brings me back to the Epstein file. You don't want to talk about something you can be legitimately pissed off at the Trump administration for? Not because he's a fucking retard who they should take his phone away from him after fucking 7 p.m. because he never posts anything that's fucking intelligent. It's not because he's, this fucking fascist dictator, because at the end of the day, he's not. It's another one of those things that fucking clowns do right now. They've overused Nazi and fascist and fucking tyrant to the point where it's utterly fucking meaningless. And it's stupid on top of it. That's why I take the biggest issue with it. You're being intellectually dishonest. You are being fucking stupid when you say that shit, because if that were true, if it were remotely true, if it was even close to the level of atrocities that these dumb motherfuckers keep invoking because something's happening they don't like, none of y'all would be there to say it. You'd be in the gulags, you'd be in a fucking hole, and you'd be too afraid to open your goddamn yaps. None of these people are fucking brave warriors, despite what they tell each other in their little circle jerks before they go out and fucking blow their rape whistles. These dumb motherfuckers are fundamentally cowards. Now, that's not necessarily true of all of them. You're getting the more radicalized ones that are probably going to go out there and start doing violence. Just look at the guy who got himself popped because he was, carrying a fucking cig. But again, I'm not celebrating it. I'm not wishing this guy was death, but I'm saying things are escalating. The rhetoric is getting more out of control. And at some point, these brain-dead fucks who think they're smart are going to decide they've crossed a Rubicon where violence is the only answer, because obviously nothing else is fucking working. They're not building sympathy with the masses. They're not convincing the world that their fucking outlook is right. And obviously it must be because the rest of the world is horrible and stupid and inbred racist, fascist motherfuckers who love the idea of a dictatorship because, white man bad and whatever other fucking stupid shit these assholes come up with. And instead, the reality of the matter is they're kind of fucking cunts, and they don't realize it because they think it's everybody else. And maybe it's just me in my position of I don't identify with either fucking side, where I can look at them and go, yeah, you're all fucking pieces of shit. But at the end of the day, that's kind of where we're at, is you've got these just self-important shitheads who are way overemphasizing things that shouldn't be that big a fucking deal. And they're compounding the fucking things they're complaining about through their activities without the self-awareness to realize they are the fucking problem. Like with the bullshit in Minnesota. If they hadn't been interfering with ICE's activities to arrest a child molester and a fucking rapist, the guy wouldn't have gotten shot. The lady wouldn't have gotten pushed down. It's a domino effect. The lady wouldn't have been pushed down if she wasn't there bitching. If she wasn't pushed down, he wouldn't have gone over to try and pick her up. If he wouldn't have gone over there to try and pick her up, he wouldn't have gotten tear gas. He wouldn't have gotten tear gas. They wouldn't have seen his gun. They wouldn't have seen his gun. They wouldn't have taken his gun from him. It's a P320. It's a very real chance that it fucking went off in the fucking cop's hand, even though nobody's finger was on the trigger, because, hey, it's a known fault with those fucking firearms. And yeah, the guy got shot. It's a fucking, it's a tragedy. I like I said, my sympathy is tempered, but at the same time, I don't want him to be dead. I want him to be, whatever it is that fucking former nurses do on their spare time when they're not out there protesting ICE. I don't know what kind of shit that fucking guy was into. He had a gun. Maybe he liked going to the range. Maybe he and I would have hung out at the range and been fine. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know, because he made bad choices and he got stupid, tragic fucking consequences from those bad choices. The fact that I'm willing to say that shouldn't be a deal breaker for anybody. It shouldn't be a case of saying, well, you're a horrible human being because you don't agree that he should have been there. No, I fucking don't. I think he should have been staying home, minding his goddamn business, not interfering with a legal action. And every single yammering politician, every single media outlet that paints it as anything other than that is part of the fucking problem, because they're causing this shit. They're encouraging it. They're inflaming this bullshit. And it's deliberate. And the fucking people who don't see that drive me fucking nuts. And they're fucking everywhere. And then the other thing that happened, the big football game that, Not that I think I carry the kind of weight to ever have to worry about it, but there's a very real chance if you use the actual name of the game, they'll sue you. But those guys, the NFL, they're the bowl of soup or whatever it was going on. People I had multiple people ask me, "Hey, did you watch the game? Hey, are you going to watch the game? What are your plans for Super Bowl weekend?" No, I didn't watch the game. I don't fucking care. Neither of my teams were in the game. I don't give a nickel-plated shit about the two teams that were in the game. I had no interest in seeing the halftime show. The commercials have gone to shit over the last 5 years, so it's not even tune in to watch the commercials and not pay attention to the shit between them anymore. So I didn't watch it. I had other shit to do. I had a project I was working on, so I focused on that and got that shit done. I made a nice dinner for myself and the wife and didn't fucking care. Didn't watch the halftime show. Didn't watch the Turning Point alternative halftime show. Heard plenty of feedback from people about both sides. Had a buddy of mine who's, Mexican said that, he said, yeah, I don't know why everybody was trying to say Bad Bunny was so great because I couldn't understand what the motherfucker was saying either in half the time. And I'm like, you know what? That's great. I said, not my thing, not my cup of tea. I don't care. So I had no desire to watch it. Then they had, the Turning Point USA thing, which is like Kid Rock and a bunch of other people. And I didn't watch that either because I don't fucking care. And I don't care about that shit for the same reason I don't watch award shows anymore. I don't watch the NBA anymore. I stopped watching the NFL. I stopped watching the Major League Baseball unless I go in person. Although the baseball thing's an entirely different set of reasons. But I don't watch award shows because I don't fucking care what you think, and every last asshole who goes up to get a trophy has decided that's their platform to tell the world what they should be doing, what they should be thinking, what they should be believing, and what they should be doing. I don't fucking care. Not a single one of those award shows ties into anything that merits you being in a position to lecture fucking anyone. If you're a musician and you're getting an award, that means you make good music. It doesn't mean you make even good decisions. It means you were in the right place at the right time, you got discovered, you put in the work, and you made a fucking album that people wanted to hear. That doesn't make you a moral authority. That doesn't give you any kind of better perspective on fucking life. It means you do good music. If you're an actor, I take you even less seriously, because if you're up there winning an award for acting, that literally means you're winning an award for being something that you're fucking not, for pretending. You're a good pretender. You might be the goodest pretender. That does not give you a single solitary iota of fucking moral authority or right or any kind of grounds to lecture us, and I'm sick of every last one of those fucking people, so I don't subject myself to it. I stopped watching the NBA because they were getting a little too, oh my God, this is what we're I'm going to protest for this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this. You're allowed to believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, but I don't want to fucking see it when I'm tuning in to be fucking entertained. I watch entertainment to turn my fucking brain off, not to sit there and be lectured by some self-important cunt who doesn't have to deal with day-to-day problems, because even the league minimum is more than most Americans make in a fucking year. So I don't want to fucking hear it. You're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to play a fucking game. Shut the fuck up, bounce your ball, do your job. Nobody cares what you fucking think. It's also why I don't watch the Olympics anymore, because I'm getting a little tired of, and honestly, I don't even blame the fucking kids, because let's be honest, the majority of the Olympians that go to represent the United States are fucking kids. They're in their 20s. You kind of age out on those things around the time you hit your 30s, and that's just when you start pulling your head out of your fucking ass for most of us. So I don't want to hear what these fucking inexperienced children think about things in the world. I want them to do their fucking sport and shut the fuck up. The problem is the media won't allow that to happen. It's something I did see based on a couple of the clips I've seen. There was some skier who was like, yeah, I'm not real thrilled with, I'm proud to be here representing America, but I'm not thrilled with what's going on in my government or my country right now. And he did that because the reporters asked him. They're prompting them. They're pushing them. They're not doing that for fucking any other country's athletes. They only do that here because Orange Man bad and he must be stopped, and it's fucking retarded. So it should just be policy. I mean, people are saying, oh, well, if he's so embarrassed of the country, he shouldn't be allowed to fucking be representing the U.S. I wouldn't go that far. Again, because he's in his 20s and he's fucking retarded. How do I know he's retarded? Because he's in his fucking 20s. The two kind of go together. None of us were very intelligent in our fucking 20s, even though we made probably some of our hardest life-altering decisions for a lot of us at that point. We had to fucking grow up. These kids aren't facing that shit because their parents pushed them into their sports. Their parents encouraged them. They stepped at the other distractions, so none of them are like out there knocking up their high school sweetheart or whatever. And so they have zero real-world fucking experience to base these things on. They only know what they're told by their coaches, their parents, and their fucking immediate circle. And they're young and they're fucking stupid. So, why are they asking them? Why didn't you ask, the fucking ski jumper from Bolivia how he felt about things going on? They don't care. It's about stirring up bullshit here because that's the only thing they stand to gain anything from. And it's just, like I said, the whole thing infuriates me. I just want to unplug from everything. I want to unplug from social media. I want to unplug from people in general. I'm really starting to understand shut-ins a lot fucking more at this point. I mean, people are exhausting, and maybe that's just the day I've had taking it out of me. Maybe if I was a little better rested and a little less frustrated, I'd be a cheerier son of a bitch today. But I kind of doubt it. And that's really that's what's rolling around in my brain today. And so I'm going to do the open up to the chat thing and play an ad. All right. Well, I'm playing Misanthrope Radio while I give you chat a few seconds to catch up.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo. I host a podcast. It's called Misanthrope Radio. Look for Misanthrope Radio wherever you get your podcasts, and you will probably hear something like this. Don't fucking call me a dirty Jew. All it's gonna cost you is your fucking panties. I fucking hate him. I fucking hate Corky.
Well, then I held her head underwater, and we took turns kicking her in the tits.
Julian intently fisting that tiger's ass.
Discipline your fucking kid! Stop fucking turning out of the fucking society!
Yeah, bitch, you crying, bitch. Dude, bitch, soft ass bitch.
Die by the dead!
Oh, Sonny, you're so nice to help an old lady out!
Misanthrope Radio. MISANTHROPE. Radio. You illiterate fuck.
All right, and through all of that, there was nothing in the chat, so apparently, well, actually, there was a couple little comments. Shauna pointed out that the brain's frontal cortex is not fully developed till you hit 25 anyway, which is accurate, and told me that apparently last week I ran the Boomer Bunker spot so good. I need more spots, fellow podcasters who are listening to this, because I know you're out there. Yeah, send me your promo spots. I need to have more than just 3 buttons lit up on this thing with spots. So anyway, recipe of the week. We are going to do Arrabiata sauce. Now, Arrabiata is it's a pasta sauce. It's good. That's Arrabiata is like I believe it means angry. It's because it's got a little spice to it. It's all right. This is gonna make enough for like 6 servings, or 4 or 3 or 1 if you're fucking really hungry, I guess. So we're gonna start out with a pound and a half of diced pancetta. Now, pancetta is a cured pork. It's Italian pork. If you can't find diced pancetta, you can use bacon. It's the acceptable American alternative to pancetta, but pancetta is thicker and it's a different muscle and other stuff. But you'll get the same result if you use bacon. So, anyway, half a pound of diced pancetta, 2 pounds of diced white onions, 1.5 pounds of diced green pepper, 1/4 cup of minced garlic, 1 cup of dry red wine. I use Chianti when I make mine. 1/8 of a cup or 2 tablespoons of minced sweet basil. 1/8 of a cup or 2 tablespoons crushed red pepper flakes. 2 each of the large can of, they're like a pint and a half. The big cans from the grocery store of crushed tomatoes. 1 large can of diced tomatoes, and 1/2 cup of tomato paste, or one of the small cans, right? So first things first, you're gonna get yourself a big heavy bottom pan. You're gonna brown off the pancetta in it, and you're gonna stirring it pretty constantly, but not nonstop. You need it to brown, but you're gonna move it around over medium-high heat until it starts to brown off and render a little of fat. Once the fat starts to render, add your diced peppers, your diced onions, and saute it until they are tender and translucent. So you do that, And then you add your garlic and saute it for another 2 to 3 minutes until it gets like a golden brown and you start to smell a little bit nutty. Then you're going to add your tomato paste and stir it around to caramelize it for 3 to 5 minutes. Then deglaze with the dry red wine. Add your spices and your diced canned tomatoes and your crushed tomatoes. Reduce the heat once it starts to bubble. Reduce the heat and simmer it for 45 minutes to an hour. Goes great over pasta. Is delicious. It's relatively simple and it's delicious. I already said delicious, didn't I? I'm tired. So let's see. What else? We got some chitter in the chatter here. Ken, Mad K Studios, during the show tonight, he's out in the garage welding things together for a show display. Wife and he are starting a new business. Awesome. Congratulations, Ken. I'm sure it'll work out wonderfully. We'll talk about it on Sunday, I'm sure. So anyway, yeah, that's the recipe. That's the show. I got nothing else to say unless anybody else has anything they want me to address. And I'll give it a minute just to be on the safe side. All right, well, I guess we're going to put a pin in it now and say that's what I had to say.